Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 19. You know, I hate that I have to look down because I've looked at this number about 14 times.
You've said it multiple times.
I know I have,
testing
but for some reason, I have to look down every time just to remind myself, which tracks. I mean, if you've ever played music with me, I forget the words that I literally just practiced. So, welcome to episode 19 of The Stable. I hope you guys are doing well. We are really excited to bring some new, exciting information to you. If you had not gotten a chance to watch it, this is your opportunity to pause this, go and watch AEW Full Gear.
We'll wait.
On Bleacher Report, Fight Plus, or YouTube in some countries.
It is a fantastic show. We'll talk a little bit more about the individual matches as we go through our episode, but just wanted to give you an opportunity to let you know this is a review of the show. Everything will get spoiled.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. We have done our due diligence. Now it's your fault.
Yep. Already?
You people.
Do we need to introduce ourselves?
Yeah,
or do
he
we
will.
really
Yeah,
care?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So-
cool. I thought you were just gonna dive right into the
I was
card. I'm
ready
like,
to
okay.
do that.
Woo!
Since
There's 13 matches. I gotta
since
get
she
into
brought it up, we'll go ahead and start at the end of the table
Oh.
and introduce ourselves.
Because it's my fault. I'm
It
Dr.
is your
Deb.
fault. That's right.
This is Josh.
And of course, I am your host, Big Don. And like we said, we're going to talk about AEW Full Gear 2022. Joshy's got the whole card. I got a chance to watch, I think, everything except maybe 2 matches in the pre-show.
Yes.
You saw
Deb
more
caught,
than I did.
I think Deb caught the last 3 matches
3
of
or
the
4.
show.
Yeah. I was taking care of children and I was at a meeting.
That's right.
But I think, have you gotten a chance to do any review of
I
the
have.
show? Okay,
I watched
cool.
Simon's Ups and Downs.
Cool. Oh, no,
And so,
there you
yeah,
go.
I've...
You know what he says? He watches pro wrestling so that we don't have to.
Exactly.
That's right.
Which is
So-
why...
So,
Love you.
starting on what they now call the 0 Hour, something they inherited from Ring of Honor
right.
versus the buy-in. The 0 Hour is the new pre-show. We opened the show with a 5-on-5 tag match between the best friends of Orange Cassidy, the best friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, with Rocky Romero, Orange Cassidy, and at the time, a 5th unannounced partner versus the factory of QT Marshall, Nick Camarado, Aaron Solo, Lee Johnson, and Cole Carter. And the first probably 75% of the match was a 4-on-5 match until Evil Danhausen joined us, which is the first time the evil variant of the very nice, very evil man showed up. And he showed up with a jar of teeth in one hand, a spike in the other.
Jar of teeth.
Yep, it's a whole gimmick he's been doing.
He's
on the
been
show.
doing it in the indies for if you look up, if you just YouTube Danhausen teeth,
It's a thing.
you will get a list
Oh
of
my,
videos.
That's so special.
But it's
okay.
one of his really incredible, very nice, very evil, well, more evil.
Yeah. This
very
is evil persona.
It's
We're
his
not gonna-
evil persona finishing move.
We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on
Yeah.
0 Hours. One match in particular, I know that's really important to what's going on storyline wise. But this match, as AEW says here, Danhausen entered the match, hits QT with a German suplex, grabs the jar of teeth, sprinkles them down Nick Camarado's mouth before kicking Nick in the mouth and pinning him because he kicked his teeth out of his mouth. That was the whole kicking the teeth or whatever, kicking them out. I don't remember all of it. But,
So you're telling me that he kept integrity and he did what he said he would do.
well, I mean, he wasn't announced, but yeah, sure. This is a thing we're going to get into later.
I feel like this
checking.
is going to be a reoccurring thing.
The integrity thing? Yeah,
Yeah.
it will. Yeah, we had a breakthrough last night. Anyways.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Renee Paquette then comes out to interview Kinosuke Takeshita, the newest signee to All Elite Wrestling out of DDT Pro Wrestling in Japan. Very excited to be part of All Elite. I'm excited to have him there. We've already had some really great matches so far, so it'll be good to have him on the roster. All Ego Ethan Page joins the commentary desk because we now have the World Title Eliminator Tournament semifinal match, which got delayed from 2 rampages ago. So 2 rampages ago, it was supposed to be Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks. Ricky was hurt, so they did Lance and Ricky on Friday, thus pushing the finals to Dynamite in Chicago on what would be the 23rd of November, which we're recording this on the 21st, so we don't know. But what we do know is that Brian Cage faced off against Absolute Ricky Starks. Brian basically threw Ricky around the ring. Ricky got some really good offense in. There's even a hilarious Twitter meme type thing floating around where after he took one of Brian's big moves. Ricky kicked out at 2 and then smacked him in the back of the head. It was very entertaining. But ultimately, the match was it ended after Brian Cage went for an elbow drop. Starks dodged it. Starks smashed Cage with the Destroyer and then pinned Cage after his Rochambeau move, which, for those who haven't seen the Rochambeau, it's basically a seated Dominator.
Oh, okay.
And you got to think, if you've seen Ricky and you've seen Brian, it was actually really impressive because Brian is a wall to Ricky's RKO. That's kind of what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
Very good match. That sets up Ethan Page versus Ricky Starks on Wednesday night for the winner getting a chance at the world champion at Winter's Coming. So that'll be really good.
It's nice to see Brian Cage doing stuff.
Yes. Well, Brian's part of the Ring of Honor roster.
Yeah, I know.
As well. Prince Nana was out there as part of the whole King. No, they're not called the Kingdom. I don't remember what they're called right now. They bought out Tully Blanchard Enterprises before Tully was let go for whatever reason. But that'll be interesting to see Ricky versus Ethan Page for sure. That's a whole prediction in itself. Finally, the last match of the 0 Hour was Jun Akiyama versus the Mad King Eddie Kingston with Ortiz, which was one of many big man slapping man meat type matches.
Oh,
Yes, it was.
literally.
Yes, it was.
Literally.
Every form of the chop known to man.
Oh, my Lord.
Akiyama is not a young man either, and he was doing Shining Wizards.
He looked
and
great.
Chops. He looked great.
That's the first match I'd ever seen of his, but I know that at least in the storyline, Eddie is a huge fan of his and has been inspired by him for a portion of his career, which I thought was really kind of cool. Like that he did a really neat tribute. I think that he could officially be considered a face by the end of the match.
Yeah.
Because of just his character after they shook hands. Eddie was crying because it was like the first match he had won in
a while,
several weeks,
and it was against one of his heroes,
Yes.
first people he saw.
Yeah.
Very excited about it. Lots of suplexes, DDTs, and so forth.
It was great. He gave a hilarious promo after the match was over.
Yeah.
Talking up all of the matches that were to come that night. Said they say I've only got 3 minutes, and then when they told him it was time, he goes, "Oh, they're telling me it's time. Peace," and then just dropped the mic and walked off.
It was a literal mic
It was
drop.
fantastic.
That's how we ended the 0 Hour.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And we'll see if Eddie Kingston is still a face when we see him next.
I think he will be. Yeah, I think they're probably going to play around with
Heel
his
face,
character as
heel
a
face.
face a little bit.
I
And
think they just need to let Eddie Kingston be Eddie Kingston.
Exactly.
I'm sure they'll figure it out when the
Yeah.
fans decide to.
That's
Yeah.
literally what I was saying. Is like, why do you need heel face? He just needs to be Eddie. 'Cause-
All right, we're gonna keep the ball rolling. The first match of the night pitted Jungle Boy Jack Perry, which I have to say I'm so glad he's using his full name as well now.
Yeah.
Versus Luchasaurus with Christian Cage inside a steel cage, and my goodness, the Luchasaurus just beat up Jack Perry for probably 85% of this match.
Yeah.
But Jack wouldn't give up.
That was like the whole shtick. Is that the idea of showing his toughness, showing his endurance. Like even though, comparatively speaking, Jack Perry's like this, and Luchasaurus like this.
well, I don't know
But-
how he got busted open so early. Like I don't know if he. I don't think
he run into a ring
I,
post?
I don't think he cut himself,
I don't think he did either.
but
It didn't look like it.
But I mean, it was not even 5 minutes into that match.
Yeah.
I mean, he was bleeding probably 3 or so minutes in, and I don't know if maybe he caught like a
Simon
portion
made
of
a
the
He
cage
got part
I
of
think
early.
that's what
because it
Simon
was.
thought
I mean, it was.
I didn't see that.
I'm just knocking
much.
over title belts over
My
here.
goodness.
Well, the thing is, I was knocking over, microphones when we were recording
Let me
yesterday.
fix
So
this.
just keep
Sorry,
it going.
guys. Sorry, guys.
That's why we can't trust him with nice
Right.
things.
That's it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was right around his brow line, but like he was just
Simon Miller thought it was
he
the
was
cage that
bleeding.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was good
Yep.
too.
Was he trying to be like John Moxley? Was he trying to
No,
help
I
the
don't.
blood
I don't think
donation
so. No, I
drive?
don't. I don't.
Okay.
I think that's always a concern when
love you,
you're in a
Mox.
cage match because
Yeah.
they're using. I mean, the fencing that they used for that cage was not painted like what the WWE uses.
Right.
So like those metal burrs and stuff like that can be on that chain link fencing
Yeah.
can cut you really easily, and
Oh,
especially like on the face and the forehead and stuff like that. you get a nick there, it bleeds like crazy.
Yeah.
It bleeds like crazy.
And
So
if you go and watch the match, you're going to see a lot of throwbacks to even a little bit of the stuff that you'd see from Edge and Christian, from Shawn Michaels, and from what I read on Twitter, apparently he actually reached out to Mick Foley to get some advice on how to do a steel cage.
how to do an elbow drop off of a 15-foot cage and almost miss the table completely.
Yeah, right. Well, because it was also it's almost like he did, in the vein of Mick Foley, a Shawn Michaels elbow drop onto the table that hit Luchasaurus and caused the table to break.
Yeah.
But when the match is over, because he does end up getting the win with the snare trap,
Yeah.
which was
It was so
fantastic to
good.
cause the tap out. But when you see him kind of like excited and whatnot, there is a red gash.
Oh yeah, just
Like-
it wasn't a gash. It was like
a burn?
nasty welt. Like
Okay.
he had.
Like
I mean, it was
hematoma?
probably
Oh.
it was probably a 3-inch
Now we're
tall
throwing out
by
medical words here,
by
people.
about
Hello.
7 or 8
And I
inch
said
tall
the
welt.
right one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Hematoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see, what is he-
Hematoma.
see,
Yeah.
practicing medicine without a license. Hold on here a second,
Nope.
gentlemen.
Nope.
Did Doc Samson say it? I'd believe Doc.
But if you see it, it looks
I've
like it's a
had
bruise.
one, so
right?
therefore I have
So
experience.
you're qualified.
Yeah. No, I
He's
just
practiced.
Just
that's
practiced.
it. I'm just practiced. That's it.
So, I overall thumbs up for that match.
Yeah. Great match. Very good. Great opener.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great opener match. I
Well-
was really surprised that they did a cage match like that, just right out
open
the
it up.
gate.
Yeah,
No,
there it is.
no
Yeah.
pun intended.
Well, no,
None.
because not only do they open with that, the next match is the World Trios title
Yeah.
match of Death Triangle with Rey Fenix, Penta El Zierro Miedo, and the Bastard Pack versus the returning Elite.
Yeah.
We
They're
have made our
back.
statements about the Brawl Out at All Out,
Oh, yeah.
and the Elite have been desuspended and are back for what was. I was expecting to call this match the night, but I'll get to that later. But this was still this is clearly the best trios match that has happened to this point. So much so that they announced they're going to do a best of 7
Best
series.
of 7, and they started with the match at Full Gear. So
Yeah.
Death Triangle has
6
got a
more
one up.
times.
Well, it's
Up to
best
6.
of 7.
Best. Okay.
Best of 7.
Right.
Because
So
they're
6
not
more
going to go to
times.
7. Yeah, they're going to go to
No,
7.
I mean, you know, I
Booker
just
T and
I
Chris
just
Benoit
by
went
the
to 6.
by the
7, I mean.
Yeah, I'm just saying by the standards.
Just
They
saying.
did. I think it was Excalibur did qualify that it's the best of 7. Therefore, if somebody wins 4 before
Yeah.
the other person,
It
then,
absolutely could happen.
yeah, it'll go 7. It'll go 7 for sure.
There were super kicks and BTE triggers
Yeah.
and super Hurricane Rana's out to the
I
outside.
think someone was
There
trying
was
to pretend to do were they doing a running knee? I thought I saw.
the Nick Jackson.
One of the
possible
Jacksons doing a running knee.
running knee in the corner. Hint, hint. CM Punk nudge.
They
I-
did a trio pile driver
Yes.
in that. I loved.
Tombstone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was even worse.
Yeah.
This was a tombstone.
They said it was a tombstone pile driver. It's a pile driver.
So-
But
No, they did. There were. 3
I know they
tombstones.
did. I
Okay.
know they did. I know how it works.
All right.
Just they're not almost 7 feet tall. They're tiny
Okay,
people.
That's fair. It's not like they're Taker, but still.
It's
yeah.
not Taker and Kane, okay?
That is
Yeah.
a funny statement when you think because Pac is obviously the shortest of the bunch, but
Yeah.
I think might be the strongest.
Oh, probably.
In
That
that
dude is.
group?
That dude is so. He is
Possibly,
built.
yeah.
That dude is built.
But
Oh, and speaking of built, very quickly, when Kenny Omega came
oh,
out,
man, Kenny Omega was
good
great.
grief, that man has been working out. Like he looked
Getting all of that
fan-
frustration
he
working out
looked
by pulling on tanks.
fantastic.
I think he's been pulling tanks in his backyard for
Yeah,
every
he looked
single
incredible.
moment.
Well, and I still don't think I will necessarily stay up in the middle of the night to watch Wrestle Kingdom, but at Full Gear was over.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan had their historic crossover of New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom on the same pay-per-view to crown the first IWGP Women's Champion. Congratulations, Kyrie. But at the end of the night, when Will Ospreay retained the United States Championship, Kenny Omega announced that he
Yeah.
was returning at Wrestle Kingdom for the first time in 4 years to challenge for the United States Championship.
Oh my gosh.
Mind blown. So
They just want to see
I
how
just
many
wanna
of the
see-
people can hold
I
how
just
many
want to
belts.
see that match.
right, but the problem is because Japan time zones and whatnot, it's on at like
Yeah,
1
they're
o'clock
8.
in the morning.
I was gonna say I think they're 8 to 12 hours ahead of
It's
us.
crazy.
I can't remember. Yeah.
But this match, going back to the trios match, the ending actually had Pac, who had been trying to get Rey Fenix to use the hammer for the last like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Was going to hit Kenny with the hammer, took a super kick, hammer fell on the ground. Stuff continued happening, and eventually Kenny got the upper hand and hit a V-trigger on Ray, and Pac handed the hammer to Ray and was like, you got to use it. You got to use it. And Kenny picked Ray up in the one-winged angel, and he fought, and then he realized he had to use it. So he hit Kenny upside the head with the hammer, and with the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling, he rolled up Kenny Omega and beat the Elite on their return.
Retain. Yeah.
Without integrity, apparently.
Shenanigans.
Good storytelling.
Felt like
Good
it was in a good
storytelling.
WWE story.
Good
Oh,
storytelling.
ooh, did I use those three
Yes,
letters
it was a
together?
very sports entertainment finish, but it is a long-term story.
Not as sports entertainment as Chris Jericho, okay?
That's
it's
true.
not that
There is
much,
no
but
better
it was
sports
definitely more than a lot of things.
But you can also see after the match was over with and they got the win, and Excalibur actually said it on the mic, Ray Phoenix is upset with himself. This is not how he and Penta would want to win. And yet Penta was excited about it. You did see that, right?
Yeah. He was kind of congratulating him on the win. I don't know if he's congratulating him on just the roll-up pin or if he saw more than what he's letting on. So we'll see.
I enjoyed it. It was a great match. I can't say it stole the show. Again, we'll get to that later.
No.
And
Fantastic spot
acknowledge
fest.
your frustrations.
Now
regarding
or
that.
later?
No, it's acknowledged.
Oh,
Well, we've got more to come.
Oh, so he's just acknowledging me right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I can. She's my wife. I'm allowed to do that.
Acknowledge me.
Did you know others? I give it a thumbs up for the show, for the match.
Oh, we're
I
at
don't
the
know.
show? That was a
The
fast
match.
up.
Oh,
Holy
no.
cow.
No, yes, the show's going to get a thumbs up. Spoiler.
Well, way to go. Now they're not even going to watch
And
to
we'll
the
just
end. Okay, well, there it all
jump to
went.
the
Bye. Sorry, guys. Just
Whatever. Anyways, did anyone else have any comments? Yes, thumbs up, thumbs down on this match? Or you?
No, I thought that the Nick Jackson making fun of CM Punk with the running knee was hilarious. But other than that, it was a great match. I mean, with those kind of people in a ring, how could it not be a good match? I mean, unless they all like died, that would be the only reason why it wouldn't be a great
That would
match.
be horrible.
But look at that, they're all fantastic. So, no, it was an excellent match.
You good?
Yeah.
All right. Next match for the TBS Championship. Jade Cargill, the 41-0 champion, taking on the Native Beast Nyla Rose, which I'm going to give props to her and Vicky Guerrero for coming out to the ring with a Eddie Guerrero tribute, the lowrider that went up and down, while Vicky Guerrero is wearing the I'm Your Mommy or I'm Your Mammy or whatever shirt, which is what Rhea Ripley is now selling as well with the whole Dominic Mysterio. And like, it was just a really cool.
Good stuff.
It was really cool
stuff.
And Jade came out dressed as Chitara from Thundercats. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. It was a good.
And
yep.
then she tweeted today that she'll never wear leotard again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So she struggled with that
Yeah.
part of the outfit.
I
But
can believe it would be not enjoyable. Is
Yeah.
how I'm gonna put it.
but
You know what she looked like? She looked like a wrestler from Glow.
she did.
Straight
She
up.
did.
Just straight
Yeah.
with
What-
the makeup and everything, like just straight up from Glow.
Just to be clear, we're not making fun of this. Is
no,
observation.
but
And
yeah.
she wrestled in it, and the two of them put on a really
Yeah.
good match.
When I think of an '80s pro wrestling lady,
That's
that's
kinda-
exactly what I think of.
yeah.
Is
And Nyla,
yeah.
oddly enough, fits in that same like.
Oh, yeah,
like the
100%.
presentation.
Yeah.
So we fell back to the 80s, is what I heard. It was
a
a
little
flashback.
bit, a little bit.
flashback.
I'm not gonna risk coming up with some sexist, opposite of the big man meat, slapping man meat or whatever thing for women. I'm not gonna do that because
That's a dangerous thing.
because
Don't do
no,
that. No.
But it was two strong women who don't need no man for nothing.
Yeah.
Beating each other up is what happened.
That was exactly what it was.
And we saw some big moves. We saw Jade hit Nyla with the Beast Bomb. We saw Nyla hit Jade with the Jaded, and both with near falls. And the baddies tried to get involved, and Nyla knocked them out. And it ended up with Jade rocking Nyla with a pump kick, and then planting her with Jaded to win and go on to be 42-0 at this point. Which I still stand that Chris Statlander's the one to end the streak, but she still may have like 3 to 5 months to get that back. Well, and Athena's heel now, so I don't know how that's going to work. Which, anyways, I'm giving this match. The tough thing here is that I thought it was a good match, and I'm willing to still go with kind of the thumbs up, but it's probably the weakest match of the night,
I would agree, and
which is rough.
I struggle a little bit with Jade. She's getting, I mean, her progression over the last couple 3 years
Sure.
has been really, really good. She's gotten really a lot more confident in the ring. Her mic skills have always been fantastic. She's gotten really comfortable in the ring. She looks good in the ring. I'm glad that they did this storyline with Nyla Rose, because here's what I will say. The Jade Cargill 42-0 homage to Goldberg, I'm getting wore out on it a little bit. So I'm glad that they're trying to figure out creative ways for her to continue her streak without it just being another squash match.
Oh yeah.
Like it was a very good
Yeah.
match. It was a very good match for the two of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
I get tired of anyway, yeah.
still giving it thumbs up,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
probably,
absolutely.
It was a hard one to say that.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the weaker matches, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Like this pay-per-view is really good.
That's saying
It's
something about
one
the
of the
pay-per-view.
weaker. It's
If this
one of
was
the
a
weaker matches
matches,
of the night. Yeah.
and it was still good. So that should tell you about how good the rest of the
And
pay-per-view was.
ironically, that's how I felt about the Thunder Rosa when she wrestled. Golly gosh.
Tony Storm.
No, not Tony Storm. The one before that. She had just come back.
Not Britt. Not
No.
Athena.
No,
Statlander. No.
no.
It wasn't Hater. It was. Oh crud!
She.
All
Go
that
through the
was
whole.
the
We'll just go
four-way.
through the
You're
whole,
talking about
the whole
Double or
list of
Nothing.
all of them with AEW.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't. It was that. I think it was that Double or Nothing defense that she did, where
Okay.
she came out with the
Yep,
sombrero
I'm gonna do
and
it. I'm gonna do it.
the
Thank
ladies who were playing the mariachi music and stuff like that. I cannot remember.
Okay, because I was pretty sure it's Tony Storm, but
Serena Deeb.
oh,
That's
yes.
yes. Serena Deeb. That match.
oh, that's
was,
what it was. Tony Storm was supposed to face Thunder Rosa, but
Yes.
she was hurt, and then
Yes.
Tony was in the Fatal 4-Way to
Yes.
win the match. Got it.
Yeah, it was that match. But I was just thinking back on
Okay.
that match
Serena
was
Deeb.
still a good match, but was the weakest match of the night for me for that pay per view.
But what did not
Anyhow,
what
sorry.
did not help the TBS Championship is that it went on right before the Ring of Honor World Championship Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, and right after the trios match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
Goodness.
That's your bathroom match. I mean, think about it. You've already been through the 0 hour and 3 matches. That's your bathroom match, which again is really sad, but that's where I would have gone. If I was
Yeah, I
there,
understand.
I'm looking at the card. I'm a girl. When am I going to the bathroom? That's gonna be where I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And I'm sorry, but I'm looking at the rest of this card like I ain't leaving for the rest of this card.
It's a good card. This Ring of Honor World Title match had the Ocho, the champion Chris Jericho, versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, versus the Spanish God Sammy Guevara, versus Claudio Castagnoli of the Blackpool Combat
You're not
Club.
missing that match, folks.
You're not. And you have 3 very experienced veterans in there, and then Sammy Guevara.
He was ridiculous. Whether you like the character thing or not,
Yeah,
the guy's got
Sammy's
skills.
character. Yeah, Sammy's character is a question
Yeah,
in general, but his talent is not.
correct.
And between the dynamic of Chris and Sammy working together but not working together because they ultimately realize it's for the world championship, and then
Blackpool Combat Club.
watching the Combat Club fight together until the two of them were out, and then they were shaking hands and they wouldn't let go of the other ones, and then they were like, well, I guess we're fighting each other now, and then they fought each other. And it was hard hitting. It was submissions and Spanish flies and a beautiful GTH followed by a shooting star press.
oh, it's so
from
good
Sammy
for
Guevara
a
to
near
get
fall.
The near fall of the match.
Yeah, it was so good.
And even with all that going down, we come to the ending, and the ending has Claudio doing the swing with Sammy. And he's gone around about 4 or 5 times, and then all of a sudden you see Chris Jericho do his backspin and jump over Sammy Guevara to hit the Judas effect on Claudio.
Sammy Guevara's got a lot of faith in Chris Jericho.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
And-
like, break kayfabe. He got to trust that man.
And truth be told, Chris missed ish, but it still looked amazing. And when Claudio stood up, he ate a Judas effect anyways, and Chris Jericho won to retain the title, which means Chris Jericho is most likely walking into Final Battle as the Ring of Honor World Champion. To me, this match stole the show. And we still have way more matches to go, but I was just absolutely blown away by the stories that were being told here. Sammy Guevara looked incredible. Chris Jericho, I cannot believe he is in his early 50s. And Claudio again gets to show his strength. And Bryan Danielson's Bryan Danielson, I don't think has won a big match in months. And yet I'm still compelled to want to see him whenever he's on the show.
That's because if you don't want to see Bryan Danielson, you're wrong.
Yeah.
It's a life
I would
principle.
agree. I would agree.
Okay.
Because he can make, I'm going to go back to what was it, 3 or 4 years ago I started saying, he could fight a stump and make the stump look good.
It's probably
He can
true.
make everybody else look great. That's how good he is.
I think-
he's not just good himself, but he can make what's around him.
Yeah.
He can elevate it.
I agree.
And to me, that's just like, oh.
I think my favorite part of that match was Sammy Guevara getting it in his head that he was going to try and pull off Daniel and oh gosh,
Claudio.
Thank you, Claudio's. I got stuck in WWE
His
land.
slave name?
Claudio's elbow
Yep.
shots, and he was just trying to drill him in, and Daniel Bryan is no selling. It
Every
was
one of them.
so good.
Yeah, but then Brian also no soul Claudio's.
Oh yeah,
almost-
oh yeah, it was great. Like,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh my goodness, that definite
Yeah,
thumbs
Yeah,
up
it
for
was
us.
fantastic.
Obviously, you thought it was the
match.
best night. You thought it was the best match of the
Listen,
night.
I'm not the only one here.
I thought it was a fantastic match as well.
Well, it had Bryan Danielson in it, so guess who's not arguing?
I'm saying
Yeah.
the next match, which was kind of Don's emotional moment, like mine too. I was very glad to see this.
Yeah.
Saw Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Oh, I'm
Taking
sorry, I
on-
didn't realize you were going to do
Hey,
the whole
you
thing.
can't say her name without doing it.
Well,
It's just weird.
Okay. I'm just okay.
It's why. Anyways, versus the returning Saraya, formerly known as Paige, after being retired from neck injury for 5
medically
years.
retired. Yeah.
And was it a classic match? No. Was it extremely emotional watching Saraya hit her package DDT or Fisherman's DDT twice to beat Britt Baker?
She now has the night. It's not the page turner anymore. It's the night.
I don't remember now.
It's KNIG. It's her last name,
Yep.
KNIGHT, and it's got a new name, but it's still that same. It's that move.
Yeah, she renamed the page turn with Night something. I don't remember what it was
Yeah.
called, but that was not her finish. She finished with the.
No, but it was
Christian
cool
Conrad.
to see the
It was.
page turn, except it's not the page turn anymore. It was cool to see it.
But man, they even did a great sell early on where Saraya was acting like she had hurt her neck.
She took. It wasn't even a hard bump, but she took a really theatrical bump and then laid there on the mat. And I think everybody kind of went, "Is everything all right?" And the ref even just kind of like played it up a little bit, and then she got up with a huge smile on her face and was like, "All right, let's do this." Like,
Only to then not 3 minutes later take
Yeah.
a spinning neck
Oh my
breaker
gosh,
off
yeah.
the apron onto the
oh my gosh,
floor.
yeah, it was nuts.
And multiple stomps from Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Curb stomps.
I think she
stomps,
hit
whatever
at
you
least
call it.
2.
Yeah. It was either 2 or 3, and
Yeah.
she managed to kick out of all of them.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Jim Ross, Saraya wins it, and it wasn't easy. And Excalibur, what a gutsy performance from Saraya after a 5-year layoff.
And her brother, Zach Zodiac,
Zack Zodiac, yeah.
was in the front row on the back corner of the ring, and it was, man, when she walked down the ramp, she was emotional.
Yeah.
But then the camera flipped over to him for a second,
Oh yeah.
and man, his face was as red as your sweater.
Yes.
Like
yes, it
he
was.
he was just
He
so
was a
emotional
mess.
for his sister, and it was so cool to see. And I have to say, I agree with you. It was not the most technical match. They didn't do any real big high spots. They had a couple of moves that were like Okay, all right. She's taking bumps.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to say this is my favorite match of the night for the purpose of it being, I mean, really a victory for her. And I even said this after the match. I said, if Saraya decided after this match that she never wanted to wrestle again, I would respect the heck out of her being able to go out of the business that she loves on her own terms.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that what every wrestler really wants, right? You want to go out when you want to go out.
And we've all gotten a chance to see people like Edge and Bryan Danielson come back from what we thought were going to be career-ending situations like that.
Exactly.
And so I think what's incredible is to see three people, those two and Saraya, be able to battle back and do the physical conditioning that they need to do and to take care of themselves to be able to heal properly so that they can have that full release. I'm really, I'm really hoping and praying that Big E has the same kind of like successful recovery, because you got guys who, I wish could really go again, which, I mean, he did it at WrestleMania twice. But guys like Stone Cold and stuff like that, where you're just like, man, I just feel like if he had another 5 years of good runs, what would have happened in that transition from like the Attitude Era to the Ruthless Aggression Era, where, you know what I mean? Like,
Not even 5, just 1 year.
just one. Yeah. I think as somebody,
I mean, look at CM Punk. Even with all the stuff that went down, no one can deny that his year.
it was incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And he went, I mean, to an extent, he went out on top. Sadly, he went out
On top of a dumpster fire.
on top of a dumpster fire, but he still went out as champ. He still got
Yeah.
a chance to do what he wanted.
He
And I
did.
think
He
a
won
lot
it
of
in
us as
Chicago.
fans, a lot of us as fans would have loved to have seen that conclude with, I mean, basically how this show concluded. But I think that, the fact that he got a chance to go out his way, for better or for worse,
He went
is
out.
exactly what I think a lot of us who are passionate wrestling fans really want to see anyway.
Yeah.
So thumbs up to the Ring of Honor World
Yeah,
Championship match.
for sure.
Continuing with the multi-man matches for this evening, we have our TNT Championship match pitting the young Wardlow versus the Ring of Honor World TV Champ Samoa Joe, the not-so-young champ, versus the young powerhouse Hobbs. And if
Enormous men
these are big dudes.
running
So
into
big.
each other.
Big
So
dude.
big.
I saw somebody post that Wardlow is Jeff Hardy after he evolved. Pokemon
Yeah,
reference. For
yeah,
those who didn't know,
yeah.
Because
or like his final form.
yeah.
Gotta catch
Yeah.
'em
Because
all.
he did a whisper in the wind, which just doesn't make any sense. But
No.
he did one.
He
That
did.
is a
Swanton
massive man.
Did
Yes.
both of them in the match. And Will Hobbs is dangerously strong. Like he hit Wardlow with an incredible spine buster for a near fall.
Yeah.
And Wardlow hit Will Hobbs with three power
Three
bombs.
power bomb, and he hefted him up
Yeah.
like he was not having any
No.
trouble whatsoever. I mean, he didn't pick him up like he was a cruiserweight, but he picked him up with complete confidence that he would have no problem putting him back down.
That's right.
It was
I'm sorry.
impressive.
Apparently, according to the results here, 2 times, and when he was going for the third, Samoa Joe.
Oh, that's
within
right.
The rules,
He rolled him. He rolled. That's right.
came in and hit him with the TNT Championship.
Yep.
And then pinned Will Hobbs.
Yep.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
No,
He
he
put him in the
didn't. Submit.
Kikita, the
I was
I was
Kikita
gonna say he
clutch,
didn't pin it, so it was submission.
and he was,
Yep.
and he was.
There were several submission.
Pretty sure he was
wins.
probably already out from
Oh,
two
yeah.
straight up power bombs, and then
several
Yep.
submission ones.
throw him in the Kikita clutch, and
Yeah. Definite thumbs up here. Just I'm looking forward to the likelihood of us getting Wardlow and Samoa Joe at
Yeah.
Final Battle. And though it may not be the main event, Chris Jericho's got some big shoes to fill if he's got to deal with that match
yeah,
on the same card.
yeah.
Yeah. Samoa Joe's another one who doesn't need to be a heel or face to me. I think he's just Samoa Joe. Like there's a few wrestlers like Eddie Kingston's in that same, but he's just Eddie Kingston. Just what else you got to say?
True.
Samoa Joe has looked the same for the last 15 years.
I mean, he's presented a particular style. Yeah.
Consistent presentation of a very large, dangerous man
Yeah.
that I would not want to meet in an
280
alley.
pound man that rides around way better than he should.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever watched, on a very quick tangent side note, have you ever watched the Samoa Joe has an IQ of 1,000 videos on YouTube.
No, I need this in my life, apparently.
If you need 5 minutes of complete and utter Samoa Joe bliss, look it up.
Okay.
Samoa Joe has an IQ of 1,000
There
or
you
a
go.
wrestling IQ of 1,000 or something like that.
So y'all
They
need to look it
are
up too, 'cause-
hilarious.
Well, I did see some way back when they were in Ring of Honor, some videos of Brian Danielson and Samoa Joe training together, talking about different things,
Yeah.
different moves and whatnot.
I can imagine them training together.
yeah. It's good stuff. I was going to say something else about somebody pointed out that there are now 2 Samoan Joes wearing 2 titles, one in each company.
Oh, I see what they did there.
If you know, you know. It's good stuff, right?
If they say that Samoa Joe, though, is an Uzi, he's going to hurt somebody. I'm just
2
saying.
Samoan
He's not
Joes.
in that tribe.
I'm
but-
just saying, but if they come up with,
titles.
you know what, you could
Samoa
join.
Joe, look,
You guys own tribe.
I don't have a problem saying it. I like being Uzi. All right, I don't mind saying it. They're supposed to be the top heels in the business. You know that, right?
They're fantastic. And you know what makes them better? Sami Zayn.
Same thing. I said supposed to be because I knew better. than
Sami
to
Zayn
disagree
makes
with her.
everything better.
That's
Sure.
a fact.
Sure.
It's like salt on a steak.
This is what you've done now.
She's dying. She's dying.
You said that they were the best heels in the business,
No, I
and
didn't.
I'm so choked
I
up.
said supposed to be.
And now I'm dying.
And now she's dying.
Stop dying. I like you.
And now she's hiding behind a title belt.
I'm pouting.
Stop pouting, because the next is our tag match.
That's
oh,
right.
Oh, yes. we have to pay attention
Sting
to
and
this.
Darby Allin versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett and Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh and
lot
a
of
bunch
people.
of like guys dressed up like Sting, only to find out one of them was actually Sting.
Yay.
And Darby Allin coming out of a body bag in a no disqualification, no countouts match that saw at one point Darby Allin jump off of a ladder that was on the ramp and get caught by Satnam Singh. Well, Satnam then walked him up in the Razor's Edge and then threw him on the stage.
Yeah.
Also saw Sting hit Satnam Singh with a assisted Scorpion Death Drop from a coffin drop.
Yeah. Coffin
on
drop.
Satnam.
Yeah. Scorpion death drop.
And he tried to catch close enough. Tried to catch Jay Lethal in the lethal injection into a Scorpion Death Drop.
Yeah, it
followed
was
by the
close.
coffin drop. Yeah, it was close
It was
enough.
close.
It's again, he's 62, 63.
Yeah.
I don't know of many 33-year-olds that would catch somebody in that move.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure his IQ, his wrestling IQ, isn't like 1,000?
It's
I mean,
up
it
there.
could be.
No, you want to know whose wrestling IQ is up there? Jeff Jarrett.
Well,
Jeff
that's
Jarrett
true.
has been there for 3 weeks.
That's true.
Showed up and managed to make himself look fantastic. He hit
does
Darby
look good.
Allin out of midair with his guitar.
Yeah.
Well, it is the guitar. I mean, that guitar has been around.
I cannot.
Okay, maybe not that guitar.
I
He's
cannot
started-
believe.
Yeah,
what
that
Sting and
guitar has
Jeff
not been
Jarrett
around,
are-
and it won't be anymore.
No, exactly. Other guitars like it have.
What Sting and Jeff Jarrett are doing, this career like renaissance, especially Sting. Sting deserves awards.
Yeah,
For these last
legit.
2 years,
Yeah.
3 years, whatever.
I've lost track. It's just blurred together in a glorious.
By the way, Sting and Darby Allin got the win with that combination of reverse lethal injection and
Yep.
coffin drop. But there was just so much insanity in it that we all won in some way, shape,
we
or
just
form.
all won.
We
We
all
all
won.
won the match.
The look on Jeff Jarrett's face when Sting first showed up and he turned around and just did the whole begging, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Whole match was worth it just to see Jeff Jarrett react to Sting again because it's
He
been a
should
few
react to
years.
Sting again. Just you forgot about Sting, didn't you, Jeff? It's okay. Tell the truth.
So again, another thumbs up. Thus far, and we've still got 3 more matches to go.
Oh Lord.
Three more
okay.
matches to go. I don't have. Haven't had. We got 1 week match, but not a negative thing to say so
Yeah.
far.
No.
Very happy.
Weaker. Because
Weaker,
to
yeah.
me, weak. You define. You
That's
depends
fair.
on where you're at. Because in another pay per view, that would have been a strong match. In this
Yeah.
one, it was one of the weaker ones. Because
True, but not this next one.
nope. Next one is not a weak match
AEW
or weaker.
interim World's Women's Championship match of doom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Of Tony Storm, the champion, taking on Jamie Hayter, with assistance from Rebel and Britt Baker. Eventually,
You mean Reba?
No,
Reba?
Rebel.
You called her Reba.
Not Reba. No, I did not.
Yes,
you
he
did.
did.
I called her Reba.
Oh, I got confused. Someone called her Reba. Okay.
Rebel. Anyways, before people got involved,
Yeah.
Tony and Jamie put on a clinic
They were-
for women's wrestling.
It was
Man.
excellent.
Clinic.
It was
Between hip attacks and DDTs and suplexes and punches and slaps and kicks and just everything in between. They just put on a clinic. My goodness, Tony Storm's hip attack is dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Legit.
And I thought Asuka had a good hip attack.
Yeah.
And Tony Storm, man. But the ending of this match did see Rebel get involved and hit Tony Storm with the belt.
And I don't know when Tony Storm busted her nose, like if it was from the headbutt or if it was from the title getting hit against her face, but she was bleeding.
I'm pretty sure it was the headbutt.
Oh,
Because it was
man.
a clean headbutt.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
We stand by.
If she
Nobody
leg-
wins in a headbutt.
Yeah, no.
Nobody,
She may have
unless
legit
you're-
broke her
unless you're
nose,
Samoan.
Is what I'm looking at. Like, girl,
Or Scottish.
Or Scottish.
Drew McIntyre comes
Yeah.
out of that pretty clean.
Scottish or Samoan.
It's fair. And then
don't do it.
Rebel snuck down to the ring. Hayter and Storm battered one another in the middle of the ring. Storm's nose was busted open. Rebel clocked Storm with the belt. Ref didn't see that. Hayter used the sliding lariat on Storm for a 2 count. Ref Paul Turner then saw Rebel up on the ring apron holding the championship. Got herself kicked out.
Yep.
Storm tried for the hip attack by Hayter moves. Storm tumbled out of the ring. Britt Baker snuck up and cracked Tony in the head with the belt. Hayter tried to pin Tony, but Tony kicked out. That is not... No, she did not crack... Okay, good job, AEW.
No.
She hit the stomp
Yeah.
on the
She
belt.
didn't crack it.
before
That's actually where I
throwing
was
her
like, okay, now I'm imagining a totally different match. She didn't. She stomped her.
in. She definitely hit the stomp. Tony Storm knocked Britt Baker off the ring apron when
Apparently
she tried to get...
they're dealing with the Mandela effect.
Yes, this was the issue where Paul Turner saw Rebel with the belt on the apron, and that got her thrown out.
Right.
But when Paul Turner saw Britt Baker on the apron without the belt, that was not enough to get her thrown out, but it was enough for Jamie Hayter to get the distraction, hit the Hate Breaker, which, by the way, might be one of my favorite wrestling finishing names ever.
Yeah.
For a near fall, Britt Baker did end up removing a turnbuckle pad, which got Storm whipped into it before getting hit by the ripcord lariat and then pinned by Tony Storm.
Which that
Tony
ripcord,
Storm lost. Sorry,
that ripcord lariat.
she's a good lariat.
Good grief.
Good lariat. But
Is-
Jamie Hayter is now your AEW Women's
Interim.
Women's World Champion,
Yeah.
which I love the fact that earlier this week Tony Khan was asked about stripping Thunder Rosa of the championship, and a lot of it was laid around Tony Storm having defended it longer than Thunder Rosa, which may still be true, but now Tony Storm's not the champ, so that doesn't fit.
It's true. That's true.
Jamie Hayter winning got probably the second biggest pop of the night. Even though
Yeah.
she's supposed to be the heel, they didn't care. Everyone
Yeah.
wanted Jamie Hayter to be champion.
Well, and I
is
still
weird to me.
stand by the whole fact that Britt Baker is supposed to be a heel.
They love her.
They love her. She's so over. And Jamie Hayter is now in a position, which we've kind of talked a little bit about here in the more recent past too, to really have an opportunity, especially once they're able to combine the women's titles, to have a fun storyline with Britt and kind of competing with. If that's going to be something that they pull the trigger on, I think that would be really cool. So
Yeah.
we'll see though.
Thumbs up to that one.
Yep.
This was another integrity
was a good
question
one.
for
Whatever.
We're gonna get to this discussion.
Can't do it on her
for the
own.
main
As long
event.
as she's got her besties with her, we're all good. Whatever.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to do worship music every Sunday on my own.
Dude, if worship music is like being in a wrestling match, we got other things to talk
We have a
about.
main event to get to.
What?
We got 2 more
I thought we
matches
were in
to
the
go.
main
We got
event
two.
right now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot. This is how it felt last night.
Yeah.
Like, how many more matches? Oh, we still have 3 matches.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so now we're at the AEW World Tag Team Championship match
Goodness.
This one I like. This I actually.
with the
This was so
acclaimed
good.
current champions
I like
Yeah, it was so much
versus
fun.
Swerve in Our Glory of Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. And again, tag team clinic. I think the only thing that would have made this better is FTR was involved, which I think they're going to have to be and have to be soon. They need that AEW World Tag Title shot, but not until after Final Battle, where they clearly have to defend the Ring of Honor tag titles. But I don't know against whom at this point. My goodness, the Acclaimed are over. My goodness,
Yeah.
Scissor Me Daddy has just swept the nation at this point. And apparently, the reason Billy Gunn wasn't at ringside is because he couldn't control his emotions.
Yes, he couldn't control his emotions.
Because he was ready to take out Swerve because Swerve kidnapped him. Kidnapping is illegal, Swerve. Don't do
Okay,
that.
hold on. Why is Swerve there at all, and why is he not arrested and in jail?
Because it's professional wrestling, and you can threaten to
You can
end
threaten
some-
all day long.
You can threaten to
but
end
if you
someone's life.
actually kidnap someone,
No.
you should get arrested.
No.
And I'm pretty sure Simon Miller would agree with me on this.
No, I think that there's been a nice long history of people getting kidnapped in professional wrestling.
Stephanie McMahon was kidnapped like every other week
This
at one point.
is
How many
a
times has some-
terrible,
how many times has
terrible
somebody-
tradition. We
Well,
need to stop the
it's true.
tradition.
How many times has somebody driven off with somebody else in the car?
I don't know.
Stephanie McMahon got married while asleep.
It's true. That's
You're
not
talking
illegal, though.
about WWE.
That's not illegal. That's just not a binding contract.
Okay, fine. AEW's 3 years old. They had their first kidnapping story. It maybe didn't go as well as we would have thought.
D-Generation X blew up a limo that Vince was in.
No. They didn't blow it up. They eventually dropped one on the limo. Something. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. What did happen here?
We're talking about WWE with Deb. This is not a safe
It's not,
subject.
which is why I'm moving us back to the tag team match, where the Acclaimed got
Kidnapping.
some great moves in, and Keith Lee got some moves in. Apparently, they came out with, which you'll at least appreciate this, that both Swerve and Keith were dressed to simulate characters from Metal Gear Solid. Apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't
nice.
see that at all. Were they,
No.
So they were dressed and then took it all off? Like
Well,
when they
that's
got in
kind of
ring?
the point. If they're dressed as Metal Gear Solid, you don't want to see.
You don't want to see him.
Right. It would
right?
It would've
That's
been
the
better
whole
if
point
one
of
came out
Metal
with a
Gear
cardboard
Solid
box.
is to stay stealthy.
I agree, but that didn't
Right.
work well at all because Keith Lee is not stealthy.
No.
I'm sorry. That
But
is
he
a
was
very
supposed to-
large man.
I think he
Who
was
did?
supposed to kind of look like Big Boss. was the
Oh,
point, yeah.
You know what? Well, okay.
Well, okay. Well, I'll have to show you later. But it's a thing. I'm just saying. So there was a point when Billy Gunn did come out from the back. He wanted to get into the fight with Swerve, and Swerve was like ready to pick the fight, and then security stopped him, prevented that from happening. Ref got involved, which meant Ref got distracted, which meant Swerve went and got a wrench or pliers. Or
Pliers.
something along those
Pliers.
lines. He hit one of the Acclaimed members with it, I think. And then he got in the ring and was going to threaten the other one. Here it is. Let's see. Swerve.
Careful. Let's see. Make sure they get this one right.
Yeah,
'cause they're
I hope
over there
so.
accusing Britt Baker.
Swerve
of
grabbed a
doing
pair of
stuff she didn't
pliers
do.
and was going to use them until Daddy S spread it out and to make the save. Swerve handed the pliers to Keith Lee, but Keith Lee threw him down.
Yeah.
Swerve then slapped Keith Lee across
Yep.
the face.
Poor life choice.
Keith Lee then helped one of the Acclaimed up, not in here, and then left.
And then
I
left.
loved it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
He kept face absolutely, but it was more of a Batman. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. And he just walks out. I'm like, Batman would be crying for joy right now. And I am now a Keith Lee fan for that very. I already liked him a lot. Now I'm like, nope, legit. I'm your fan now because that was beautiful. It didn't need to be anything more than that. Bye.
Max Caster clobbered Swerve with a springboard dropkick. Then the Acclaimed planted Swerve and Bowens pinned him, retaining their championship belts. Absolute thumbs up.
Great
I'm
match.
looking
Decision.
forward
Great match.
to Keith Lee versus Swerve.
Yes.
Looking forward to
Please, Tony, give it to us.
that. Gonna be great.
It will.
And now we've reached the main event.
Welcome to the main event.
Jon Moxley, the AEW World Champion, with William Regal versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the man who claims to be better than you, and you know it. And man, did those roles flip quick.
Well,
Yeah,
Because
because
Yeah.
Mox was definitely the
heel.
heel in
and
this.
MJF was definitely the face
Yep.
because New Jersey said so.
Yes.
It didn't
the
matter
first
what.
time that a New York Jew listened to the Jersey crowd, I'm
Well,
not
you
pretty
know.
sure.
Beats the heck
MJF
out of a
did-
guy from Cleveland.
That's, oh,
Cincinnati.
He's from Cincinnati.
Is he?
By
Oh,
the way,
sorry.
yes.
It's-
I don't know who's from Cleveland, but
I
it's
thought
not
it.
Mox.
Okay, my bad.
But MJF didn't do much different from anything that he would normally
No.
do. I mean, he was very much the stone cold face in this. Like, it was, I'm going to be MJF. He poked Moxley in the eye. He
Ran
slammed
the
him in
ropes just to run the ropes.
That was so good.
Oh, it
he
was
teased jumping out.
That was my
It
favorite part of that
great.
match. Oh my gosh, he must have hit the ropes 4 times.
He did. He's
It was so good.
That was great.
The clotheslines, MJF countered the paradigm shift, whipping Moxley into the turnbuckle. There was a brutal beatdown. Moxley, I think was bleeding at some point in time in the match.
Mox bleeds every match.
I know,
That's
it's
just an established
just
fact.
kind of the thing. So they were having a slug out back and forth. Mox charged at MJF, but MJF pulled the ref into Moxley's path. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get to that in a minute. This is the one trope in wrestling that I'm over.
Yeah.
I am so over ref bumps. Anyways,
If you bump the ref, you should just be ejected.
it's to me, it's not just that. It's these refs should be stronger than this by now.
Yeah, legit. Or if they're gonna bump them like every single time, you need to have more refs in the back.
That
Like this
said-
next one's gonna go down. We better be ready.
That said, I respect the heck out of every one of your referees. Just to be clear,
Legit.
it's not your fault. The creative
The
made
trope
that
is
decision.
dumb. You guys are better than that.
Anyways,
like,
so
legit.
MJF goes, of course, he pulls out the Dynamite Diamond ring. At this point, William Regal walks the ring and it's like, don't you use it. Don't you use it. So MJF takes off the ring and he throws it at William Regal. Turns around, gets hit with
I hope he
a
got it back.
paradigm shift.
It's an expensive ring to lose.
He then grabs MJF with the Bulldog choke. In the process, somehow the secondary ref came out and then got knocked out again.
Yeah.
And after the secondary ref was put down, Moxley put the Bulldog choke on and MJF tapped out, except refs can't see it.
That's
so
right.
it didn't happen.
No official to call the match.
And
if a tree falls in the wilderness, does anybody hear it sound?
I'm
No.
I swear, I'm going to get to you in just a minute on this because you
Unless
have,
they're also
you have
in
a
the
place
wilderness.
To say here.
Yeah,
I acknowledge this. But
Acknowledge
at
me.
this point, I already have twice now.
Well, like Roman Reigns, I need it all the time.
Okay, that's anyways. We're gonna continue on with this. At this point, William Regal looks at John Moxley and goes, "Get the ref. Ref's over there. Wake up the ref." Moxley walks over, wake up the ref, and then William Regal slides the brass knucks into the ring to MJF, who turns around and gives the power of the punch to John Moxley, and then we get a 1, a 2, and a 3. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman is your new AEW World Champion. And the crowd gave him the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah, it was so good.
There was confusion from some level because William Regal just turned on John Moxley, and yet they still cheered. Why? Because that's what they wanted, was MJF to walk out as World Champion.
That's right.
Now, that said, tonight we have seen 3 matches affected in this manner between interference or ref not seeing something happen,
Shenanigans of some
distractions,
kind, yeah.
whatever. We would have had a 4th, except Keith Lee wasn't going to have any of it. And
Maybe that's why Keith Lee is my favorite person.
my
tonight.
lovely wife here, who has defended up and down that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is the best heel in the business.
Oh, and here's the thing. Here's the great part. He just proved he is.
Oh yeah,
Because here's the thing. You show me where Roman Reigns ever got the leader of another faction to turn on the faction they started
he got
to follow the devil.
he got Paul Heyman to leave Brock Lesnar.
That's not a faction. That's
I
one
mean-
person.
Paul Heyman, the advocate of Brock Lesnar, to change and be
Yeah.
his wise
If
man.
Okay,
I will
Brock
argue,
Lesnar,
I'll argue with you
who
all
lives
day.
in a cabin
I'll argue
for
with you.
17 months out of the year. As opposed to the Blackpool Combat Club, which fights every single week. If you're lucky to see Brock Lesnar, it's because you spotted him in the woods somewhere.
I'll put Brock Lesnar against the entire Blackpool
would
Combat
too.
Club.
100% would.
If that man is not a single man stable all unto himself, him and
Cesaro?
forklift tractor include. Oh
as
yes,
Pat McAfee says, Brock Lesnar's the alpha male of our species.
yes, he is. That man is massive.
You still haven't convinced me.
I'm not trying to convince
Nope.
you
Good,
of
No.
anything.
good. Ain't gonna
But
convince
you
me.
can't say that he didn't, because Roman did do that. But your argument about him being the best heel in the business, that's actually not what I was coming up with. You had a very
He still
emotional
is.
reaction. Exactly. But you had a very emotional reaction to how that match went, which is hilarious, because I'm the emotional one in this relationship. I've not seen my wife walked away that mad since the Undertaker's streak was broken.
She
Don't
almost
talk about it. Don't talk about it.
I'm
she-
just pointing out.
Don't you talk about it.
I'm
she
not.
almost broke your dishwasher.
Yeah, which we just got. like 2 weeks ago.
She
Don't
almost
bring
broke
up the
dishwasher.
Taker
I'm
Brock
not-
Lesnar.
I am
match.
providing an example, not
Just
a reason
precedence.
to discuss.
Just precedence.
I know better than that.
Yes.
Why were you so upset?
Oh, there's multiple reasons.
Please.
So are you sure? We don't have enough time
I'm
for all of
giving
them.
you your 5-minute form.
Okay. Oh, gracious. Okay. Well,
5
first of
minutes.
all, this whole the ref doesn't see it, it doesn't happen, shib. Okay. The interesting thing about a tap out is not just something you see, it is something you hear. I'm not going to do it out of mercy to the microphones that are here. However, it is a hand that is on canvas. So therefore it can be heard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm pretty sure it was more than 3 that
Unless you Liv Morgan and you tap out of the arm and you can't hear that.
okay. Fair. I didn't see Liv Morgan on the AEW show, but
No, I
you
know
I'm just
that,
saying.
but
Okay.
this,
All right.
you had the same
So-
reaction when that happened.
Oh, I did, because it's still crap. Because the thing is, if the tree falls in the woods and no one sees it, was there still a sound? Yes, there was still a sound. Just because you weren't there to see it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, but in that same argument, there's still evidence that the tree has fallen because the tree is there. But if the ref is awake and you're not tapping anymore, you're not tapping.
Donald?
It's called all of the human beings with eyeballs on the
I gave her a 5-minute form.
you're right.
bleeping thing.
I gave her form.
My eyeballs mean nothing, apparently, when this happens, because we are chopped liver. It's only one set of eyeballs that can do it. Okay, that's special. Congratulations, that's cool. Okay, second, I have realized that from both a heel and a face standpoint, and I will put my faces on this same pedestal of, if you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you cannot do it, I have no use for you. And I sat there and I thought myself through this, and we actually talked about it. I said, yes, this is actually consistent to me. Because if there's a face who says I'm going to do this and then doesn't do it, I actually am sort of like, whatever to you now. Like you're not quite dead to me, but you're close. Like I don't care. Same thing for a heel. If there's a heel that's like blah blah blah, doesn't get it done, I don't care. Like I don't even hate you. You're just useless to me because you just show that all you can do is talk. I can talk. Doesn't mean anything to me. So I am right now. So I realized that one of the reasons I was so ticked off is because MJF kept saying that I can do this, and then he can't without Regal's help. And then he's going on and saying he's the best. I'm like, no, you're a kid that needs help from your granddad. Okay, that's cute, but that's all you got.
Granddad to have help from though.
Well, I'm not arguing that. Granddad can be fantastic and have an amazing British accent, but Granddad still just helped you. So that means that if you're ever by yourself, you're going to get the living shit beat out of you, which is what I'm hoping will happen. But I doubt it will because Regal will cheat again, so why the flub do I care?
And time.
Actually, have you been timing 5 minutes?
Yeah, 11:05, literally.
Oh.
Yeah, I have reason because I know he's got a response, and I got to give him the opportunity to respond.
Okay, because I've
already had my discussion with you. I'm of the opinion that it's a wrestling trope, that there are things I don't like, but it is what it is. However, if integrity, which means something very deeply to Deb Demaree, is something that you do not like being questioned in front of you, I can understand you being bothered by that.
And you say, can a heel do it? Yes, because Thanos did it. One of the reasons Thanos is my favorite hero is
What?
because he
You
said
mean villain? He is not a hero.
Oh, except he has been in What If. He was a hero.
Fine.
Anywho,
She blew a kiss at me.
I did. It's because he said what he planned the whole time what he was going to do. And he got all those people on his side. Yes, he did, but he did it. And in the end, there was one person who did the snap and who took the gamma radiation and wiped out half the universe. So you know what? At least you did what you said.
And when he sat on his farm like Brock Lesnar.
Legit. And that's there you go. And he was Brock Lesnar at the end.
Go ahead, respond, Don.
So, I feel like the biggest issue is that we're not willing to suspend our disbelief and we allow ourselves to hold the expectations that we would have in the real world against people that are obviously playing characters. Therefore, in the best storytelling way possible, MJF is not playing a character?
No,
Eddie
Eddie
Kingston.
Kingston's not
That's
playing
Eddie
a character.
Kingston,
That's 'cause
Eddie
Eddie
Kingston
Kingston doesn't know
doesn't
this is a
realize
work.
that this is a work.
Well, that's my point. I'm like, Eddie Kingston's not playing a
Yeah,
character.
but Eddie Kingston's liar, cheater, and stealer. But then again, he's always
But
said
he's
that.
always said he
He's
is.
always said that. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. My point is, I think that I understand where you're coming from, Deb. Obviously, you and I don't see eye to eye on this issue. I'm not asking you to, because I think that that's what makes something like professional wrestling such a great experience for everyone, is that there's something different there for everyone. If you're looking for the valiant Keith Lee, who's not going to use underhanded means to win, I respect the heck out of you. Hang on.
Okay.
I would say that it is just as entertaining for me to see Keith Lee as a face walk away from a match that he doesn't want to use underhand means, as it is for me to watch Ric Flair as a quote-unquote face win a match where there's a little bit of shenanigans, because it's Ric Flair, and he is a heel of all heels and a face of all faces.
He's the dirtiest player
Yes.
in the game.
So I was actually
I don't know
having.
about that.
No,
I
that's
was.
his name.
That's his name.
Oh.
That's a moniker.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
I don't think
he's
that's
the
true
dirtiest,
anymore.
yeah.
But okay.
He's not in the game anymore.
Yeah. Well, he did wrestle.
His last match.
You mean his second to his last match?
Yeah,
before
and he's
wrestled for
retired
their last
14
match?
times too.
Yeah,
He's almost
legit.
retired as
As
many
many
times
times
as he's won a
title.
world title. Yeah. Thank you for finishing that for me, Joshy. So I was having this discussion with my wife when I came back home, and where we went with the discussion is that there are heels, specifically heels, because I know that this is kind of where you get the most hot around the collar, that I think are really good examples of what you are looking for in a heel. When you look at somebody like Randy Orton, he is a perfect heel for you, because he doesn't need anybody's help. He has turned his back on everybody except for currently his tag team
Yeah,
partner,
because he got hurt.
because he got hurt. Right. He doesn't really have to ever use a weapon. I mean, he has, but it's normally been within the confines of the match,
Or in a promo.
or in a promo, or
whatever.
something like that, to build on the intensity of what's going to happen. But I mean, he can pull his RKO off anywhere at any time. So he always is walking around with his weapon, right? Which is why they call him the Viper, Randy Orton. I think he is a good example of a heel that kind of fits in the parameters of what you're looking for in a heel. And he may not be a heel that you like, but when I'm thinking about the type of heel that you're looking for, that's who I kind of think of. But I also feel like we have to take into consideration that for pro wrestling immemorial and storytelling immemorial, a villain is going to use any and all means necessary in order to accomplish what their specific goals and motivations are.
Right. And that's what she ultimately was saying is that she's okay with that if they say they're going to do that.
But if
and
they
do that.
But if they told you that they were going to do that, then they wouldn't be a conniving, thieving
Of course they would.
heel.
How are you going to do the thieving? They don't have to tell you that part.
I mean, how many times did Lex Luthor tell Superman exactly what he was going to do before he tried to pull it off? He didn't. He's too smart for that. He doesn't want
You
you
would
to.
tell him that I'm your enemy.
The
He
trope.
knew that I'm going to try to kill you.
Yeah, but the trope for most villains in
That's
a Bond,
legit.
the trope for most villains in a Bond movie is that they over-explain their plot and then they lose, right? So a smart heel,
The Schleif never did.
okay, there's
Yeah, but he
there's
lost.
exception. Yeah, they all lost, right? They've all lost
That's
against
not
James
yeah,
Bond.
because I don't think that's what we're arguing here. No, I don't think
No,
that's the
but
point.
what I'm
Oh.
saying is a smart heel, like a Chris Jericho, is never going to reveal all of his cards because he always wants. He
don't want
brought
all the cards.
he brought Sammy Guevara into that match
Mm-hmm.
so that he would have some security in retaining his title.
Yeah, until Guevara betrayed him.
But he doesn't care about that.
He doesn't care that
No.
even though it looked like someone killed
No.
his grandmother.
No, when he pulled his promo after the match, he said that that's exactly what he expected.
Then why did he look like somebody killed his grandmother?
Well, because he probably expected Sammy to follow his lead through the entire match and just continue to double team the other two people.
Okay.
But
okay.
he got something he didn't expect, but he understood what he was asking Sammy to do when he put Sammy in that position.
Okay.
So, I feel like this might be Deb. Mm-hmm. I think this might be a growing opportunity.
It's for you to admit that MJF's the best heel in the business?
No. I have.
Because what he just pulled
off.
Yes.
I have, and I have multiple times. Yes. And here's what I will say to that specific thing. Depending on how long he is able to retain said title and what he does now that he is in the position of being the top dog of AEW.
He's going to do exactly what he's always done.
He can very easily, I think, and without help from a stable, though he does still have some help, I think that he can definitely surpass where Roman Reigns is right now. But I still say that MJF is the best men's heel in AEW and Roman Reigns is the best men's heel in WWE. And I believe that they are on equal playing fields.
And after last night's turn and swerve on all of us,
yes,
I believe that MJF is currently the best heel.
26-year-old kid. I'm going to call him a kid.
Well,
he's
he
15 years younger than me. Roman Reigns, 2 years younger than me, maybe. Or he's close to my age.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're equal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 45.
But MJF...
Okay, he's older than I am.
No, I think he's 45.
MJF has 2 nights as AEW World Champion.
Yep, he's doing great.
And Roman Reigns has had the title for the 5th longest reign in WWE history.
Thank you for proving my point. A man who hasn't had the title for more than 2 days is on the same level as the guy who's had it for 4,876 years.
And when we had the original discussion, what were the things that I said? I said, you know what? If MJF is able to pull off a world title win, I could definitely see him being considered the best heel in the game.
Right. That's where I'm at right now. I believe that he is because he swerved us. He got William Regal, one of the most beloved people associated with one of the most beloved stables.
Yeah, man.
To join him.
I want to see where that goes.
I'm
part of me is wondering if the Blackpool Combat Club is going to stay together, sans Regal, or if Regal's going to try and get MJF into the Blackpool Combat Club.
That's an interesting spin.
I cannot see that work at all.
I don't think it works, but I think it would be an interesting story to see. Now, all of a sudden, you have this William Regal, fearless leader of Bryan Danielson and everybody in Blackpool.
After he's betrayed John Moxley.
Yes. Why? Because William Regal is exactly the same man William Regal has always and forever been.
Right. So guess what? Bryan Danielson and Cesaro, his slave name, Claudio, are thinking that he's going to do. You're going to stab me in the back every single time I do a promo.
No, he didn't stab.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't stab Bryan Danielson or
he
Claudio in the back.
Him. I'm sorry. It wasn't a knife. It was Brad
It was
nuts.
to John.
It was to John. It was to John.
So, don't worry. I won't betray you. I'm only going to betray John Moxley.
Well, yeah, and we don't know why.
Sure.
We don't know why.
It's going to make for destination. By the way, here's a trick for you. It's going to make for destination television. And if you want to know where that reference is from, look up MJF's media scrum promo that he did. Be prepared. It is not kid friendly, but it is hysterical.
Yep.
It's so good.
Era CM Punk promo.
It's better.
Fairly recently.
Lot better.
But it's better.
So,
it's so much better.
Overall, that match gets an up, thumbs up, whatever. Whole card, top to bottom.
They're giving them the thumbs up. I'm just gonna look at you all. So
you are still happy MJF is champion, even if you're not happy with the way he got it.
No.
Oh.
All right. MJF is no longer Deb's favorite heel in the game.
No, he's the best heel in the business. That doesn't mean I have to like him.
Well, that's true. That's kind of the point
That's
of
what
a
a
heel.
thinker can do.
That's kind of the point of a heel.
Fair.
I'm still right.
I just think it's great that
You are, because it's your opinion. You're allowed to have that.
that's right.
No,
You're
you
allowed to
guys
be
just
right with
agreed
your
with me.
opinion.
That he's the best heel in the business, but I did not agree with you about him being. I'm happy he's champion.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I agree about that. I'm saying that I don't have to be happy he's champion, but he's still the best heel in the business.
I'm on the far end of the fence from where you're at, Deb, because I'm like, I don't know why you didn't expect him to lie, cheat, and steal his way into that title belt.
Because for once, I want a heel that's actually
That's never
good.
going to happen.
Bryan Danielson did it.
He did. This is a discussion for another time. Believe me, we've got to finish this up.
Why do you think I love?
We got to finish this up. AEW Full Gear 2022. Go watch the replay.
It was a great show.
Absolutely worth it. It's worth the money. Very good show. Thumbs up all the way around. I know you have a 3 count, but we also do have Survivor Series coming up very quickly.
Okay.
War Games. I don't necessarily.
So
can't
the
do
quick
full card.
No, but the quick card that I have is Rousey versus Shotzi for the women's title, SmackDown women's title, that is. Grudge match with Balor versus AJ.
So good.
War Games women's match is Team Belair versus Team Damage Control. Men's is, the Brawling Brutes, Drew and Owens versus the Bloodline.
Correct.
That's what we have so far.
Yes. I know my quick statement on at least some of this is they still haven't revealed the 5th member unless it's happening during Raw right now.
Yeah,
for
the women's.
For
Yeah.
Team Belair. Nearly positive it's going to be Becky Lynch, and I'm totally on board.
Oh,
with
that'd be
it.
dope.
Like,
I thought Charlotte today for a little bit, and then I was like, I don't know if it's time for her to come back yet.
We already dropped that the Becky's on Belair's side at the end. As long as
Yes.
she's physically strong,
Yeah.
able to come back,
Yeah.
Becky would
much
make
like
most
Kevin
sense.
showing up to help the Brawling Brutes, it's the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
It is a WWE style War Games match, which means there's no top, which means it's a big spot fest. But unless we have a big turn, which, Sami Zayn turning on the Bloodline and then joining up with his buddy Kevin.
Oh my
on,
God.
come
I don't
on,
think we're there
Sammy.
yet.
That's not there yet, but
Come
But,
on, Sammy.
but it would work. It would work.
yeah.
They pull
That's the way you do it.
you pull the Dakota Kai
Yeah.
and have him turn on everybody. But
Yeah.
I look forward probably at this point most to the men's War Game match. I think I am totally bought in, and I look forward to, if he doesn't turn, watching Kevin Owens get his hands on Sami Zayn.
That's going to be good.
So good. Anything you're looking forward from that list that you were just given?
Well, Matt, our daughter is going to be delighted beyond all thing. If Belair's on the same side as Becky Lynch, my daughter is going to be like on the moon excited because she loves Belair and she knows that I like Becky. She likes Becky Lynch too.
Team Belair is Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Bianca
yeah.
Belair.
Yep.
Who did they bring in?
Mia.
Mia Yim, and then the mystery opponent versus Damage Control of Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Nikki Cross, and who's the last one? Do you remember?
It's not Rhea.
Yes, it is.
Is it Rhea?
It's Rhea.
How's Rhea joining them? I say Rhea betrays them all. And just
No,
kills
I
them
don't think
all.
she will. I don't think she will.
She could.
I'd ever
She
be
very well
confident Rhea
could,
would just
but-
kill them all.
She could. She.
But it's a Survivor Series match.
Okay.
No,
It's a Survivor Series match, right?
It's War Games.
So what's the difference between? So I've not seen a War Games match. What's the difference between
Blood and Guts from AEW is the two
Yeah.
rings, cage over the both rings, except Blood and Guts has a lid, and you only win by submission.
I got that.
Right. So War Games is the same thing. 2 rings, cage around both rings. 2 people start, and then after I think 2.5 minutes, the team with the advantage sends a person in, and then every 90 seconds they tag back and forth until
Right.
everyone's in the match. Then once everyone's in the match actually starts, and the first team to get a win wins.
Right, that's what I was saying. It's a Survivor Series
Survivor
match,
Series
which is
is an elimination 5-on-5.
but that's not what it is.
No.
So when somebody, so the entire team has to take a pinfall, or the entire
One
team has to
person on
permission.
the team loses.
The entire team loses.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that.
That's the War Games. That's their War Games
like it.
format versus.
I didn't know that.
Blood and Guts.
I mean, it'll
takes
work
the
out.
match
It'll be a
beyond
great
format,
match.
yeah.
It'll be a great match. There'll be a lot
Once they
of
actually get to it.
false finishes and
Yeah, well,
stuff like that.
and I heard somebody make
That's
this
duty.
comment. I don't remember if it was Adam Wilborn or who it was. It's like they had to do War Games as Survivor Series because all their other War Games footage has a bunch of people that work for AEW now.
It's a fact.
That's the truth.
love
And
it
you know
so
what?
much.
And you know what? Thank
so
you, thank
true.
you, Trips, for bringing it back.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it because I legitimately have not gotten a chance to see a WWE War Games style
I'm
match like
gonna
that.
miss the 5-on-5 elimination tag though. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
maybe next year we get both.
That
That'd
would be
cool.
dope. That
But
would be dope.
I'm okay with Survivor Series taking on a new role. But
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the men's.
When it's time to change a lot of that stuff, I'm looking for Balor and AJ
Yeah,
to just
that's
tear
fair.
the daggone house down.
And then you're going women's war games.
I'm going to the women's war games.
Sounds good.
I will say preemptively, I am already disappointed with the amount of outside interference in that match.
Yeah, already.
Already.
Too much.
I haven't even seen it.
Which
but
one?
Already.
The-
The AJ
Oh yeah.
and the OC versus Balor and Judgment
Which
Day.
means I suspect it's going to be the OC and Mia Yim outside, and the Judgment Day and Rhea Ripley, unless Rhea and Mia are not there. Because
That's
they're
what I
prepared
was
for the
thinking.
women's
Yeah,
match.
if they're not
But
there,
it's
that
still
might
the
be-
OC. And
still gonna
the
be
rest of
3-on-3.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Anyways, all right.
Okay, you ready for your 3 count?
Sure.
All right, here we go. I just have to look at this again. Okay, here we go. Penta's catchphrase is Cero Miedo, and Phoenix's new catchphrase is Es Tiempo del Martillo. It's hammer time.
What?
1. Samoa Joe is the meatiest man of meaty man meat history. 2. MJF is the devil you know. William Regal is the devil we didn't. 3. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 19 of The Stable. We love you all, and we will check you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Deuces.